what it is. It's your boy Diesel with Diesel TV, and welcome to another Stories with Diesel. Today we're gonna talk about, man, my first encounter with a murder suspect, man. So this happened probably back in like 2008 or 9. I had been a police officer for about 5 years. I was really a sheriff's deputy, and we had got a missing persons call that came in. So me and my partner started looking into some stuff, talked to the caller. Caller stated that the person that was missing had been with a group of people the night before. They heard from them, and then all of a sudden they stopped hearing from them. The next day came and they heard some stories about that person might have been hurt. There were some stories that was going around about somebody had jumped the person and they had hurt him pretty bad, knocked him out, and then just dumped him out of the car. So we started getting a little concerned. We went and we talked to the person that was last. Well, no, first we went and we talked to the person that owned the vehicle that this person was supposedly driving in. So we went, we asked him to look at the vehicle. We went to go look at the vehicle, and right when we opened the vehicle, all you could smell was bleach. Like bleach. They had bleached the whole vehicle. They were trying to cover up something. So me and my partner were looking at the video and was like, man, there ain't something ain't right about this, man. Something's just not right about this whole situation. Start looking some more, and we found some blood spots that they had missed inside the vehicle when they tried to clean it. So it's like, okay, now we got blood. There might be something way more to this story than we thought. So we find out who was actually driving the vehicle at the time, or around the time the person went missing or whatever happened to him. And we go to talk to the driver. And the driver tells us a story that, you know, the person that was missing and another person that was also in the vehicle were in the back seat. They were talking and everything. All of a sudden, they started arguing. And during the argument, one of the guys got upset and started punching the dude. So the guy started punching him, knocked him out, and they just ended up ditching him and putting him out in the ditch on the side of the road after he was knocked out. So me and my partner was just like, yo, man, like, we gotta go back to where y'all ditched him at, because we don't want this person out, you know, knocked out, or something else might have happened to him, and they're just sitting there on the side of the road and don't have any help or anything like that. So we basically persuaded the guy to show us where they ditched the person at. So for this, the driver had to ride in the back seat of my car, my patrol car, which at the time was a Crown Vic, and it had the cage in it and all that stuff, just like this. The setup was just like similar to this. It was basically the same cage that I have in this car. And so he's back there. He didn't have any handcuffs on or anything like that. Basically what my job was that time was to keep him with me, because if it just so happens that there is more to the story than we wanted him to actually have a way to say, let me out, I no longer want to be here, I don't want to talk anymore, I want a lawyer, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So based on how the law works, you know, you had, like, he wasn't under arrest. We didn't force him to go with us. We asked him if he would. He didn't have any handcuffs on, but him sitting in that back seat, he couldn't just open the door and get out. So there needed to be somebody there for him to always be like, just in case he did want to get out, he would be able to get out of the car. So we're riding, we go to the street where, the road where they supposedly dropped him off at. And we're riding down the road, and it's very, very dark, and we're just riding up and down the road, and he's like, you know, looking around. I was like, is it here? Is it there? And I keep on asking him, I keep on looking back, and he's really not even paying attention to where we are in the road. And I'm like, yo, like, I asked him, I'm like, hey man, like we really need to find this person, or at least see where you dropped him off, make sure they're not there any longer. I was like, man, just let us know where you dropped him off at, man. And he's sitting there, and He's just not paying any attention to what's going on around him. He's basically just staring off into nowhere. So I literally rode up and down that road, and the road was probably about 3 or 4 miles long. I rode up and down that road back and forth maybe 5 to 10 times. Just looking, me and my partner just going back and forth, and we were going slow. We were going 5 to 10 miles an hour going down the whole road just so he could see if he could recognize it in any area or anything like that. So close to the time where I'm like, yo, man, like, I don't know if he's cooperating or whatever, but like, we're starting to waste our time on talking to this dude, man. We need to go ahead and find out, talk to somebody else and find out, you know, if we can find this person or not, where they dropped him off or anything like that. So he says, I got something to tell you. And I'm like, all right, go ahead and tell me, where's it at? He was like, he's dead. And I was like, what? He was like, he's dead. The other guy shot him in the head. And I'm like, what? So I stopped the car immediately, get out the car, I call my supervisor, and I stopped the car immediately. I said, stop talking, don't say anything else. Hold on 1 second, hold what you got. Hold on 1 second, don't say anything else, let me call my supervisor. So I call my supervisor, tell him what he just told me and everything like that. And my supervisor's like, okay, well, if he said that, see if he's willing to show us where he last thought that they took the body out. So I asked him, I'm like, man, if you're saying that he's dead, can you show us where the body was dropped off at? He said, yeah. And literally where we were sitting, it was like right, like 10 yards down from where we were sitting, back up in the woods, right up against the train tracks. It was like there was some train tracks that ran parallel to this road that we were on, and they were literally 10 yards down the road, like right up against the train tracks. So we walked back in there, and you know, there he was. There was the body. It was there. They had, you know, he said that, just like he said, they shot him in the head and dished the body. So time goes on, we get him in there and everything like that, and the guy that actually did the shooting, he tried to claim insanity and all that stuff. He went to jail, tried to claim insanity, and they had to put him in a padded room and all that stuff, like he was crazy and all that stuff. And basically what it was the guy was just picking at the dude's shoes. The guy got upset, he was picking at his shoes and shot him in the head. Crazy. But man, if you knew what feeling I had when that dude was sitting in my back seat and told me that the dude shot him in the head, I was like, yo, because homeboy we didn't put no cuffs on him. We didn't want to make him feel like he was under arrest. We didn't want to make him feel like, because if he would have said something that he felt like he was pressured to say, and we didn't read him his Miranda rights or anything like that, that probably could have been a problem in court. And that's why we didn't want to make him feel that way, because we didn't know if he was the actual suspect, if he actually did it or not. Come to find out, he was just driving. He had nothing to do with the shooting. He didn't even know it was going to happen or anything like that. Nobody really knew it was going to happen. The guy that actually did the shooting was like a new acquaintance to them, and the guy that actually got killed was one of their actual friends. So the new guy was new to the group, and he was just riding around with them, and he was just stupid. So it was one of those things where, you know, it was my first time ever encountering somebody that might have been a murderer. And it was just one of the most eerie feelings, because at that time when we found the body, it was like 11 o'clock at night. It was pitch dark. It was very dark. And he's sitting back there. I couldn't see what he was doing. I couldn't see what he had in his hands or anything like that. I'm sure we searched him before we put him in my car, because that's just how we did things. But it just brings back, like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you just think about what could have happened, and you're thinking about it, what can happen right then and there while it's going on. And it just had me in a bad place. That's why I got out the car so quick, because I just did not want to be in a car with a dude that might have killed somebody sitting in my back seat with no handcuffs on or anything like that. So that's my story about when my first time encountering a murder suspect. And come to find out, he wasn't a murder suspect, but at the time we thought he might have been a murder suspect. So that was my first time with that encounter. I hope you guys like this story. Just a real quick story while I'm out here working some off duty, man. I'm currently working some off duty at one of the schools for security. So I just wanted to bring this story to you guys while I'm working a little bit of off duty. I hope you liked it. Make sure you push that like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button also. And y'all know what it is, man. I'm out.